That's not good. Azorius Aura is currently in first place in the hands of Wenzel Krautman, who's been crushing it. Oh, look at these mountains. Okay, Will Pulliam.
APAC.
It's pretty nice. Yeah,
those are nice ones. Those are very nice ones.
Mono Red Goblins versus Rakdos Sacrifice. You hear about this SCG Premium thing, man?
I have. So
nice.
If you become a Star City Games Premium member, for just $7.99 a month, you get access to the best Magic content on the web. Many of the writers that you see right there in that slide that's now gone, write for the website. And then also it comes with discounts on the website of singles, sealed product, and supplies. So become a subscriber today over StarCityGames.com.
I know some people are asking any breakout decks here this week. And I would say if you're looking for a breakout deck, by the most literal interpretation, Azorius Auras, I think, really overperformed here with it currently in first place. And then Azorius Godpharaoh's Gift, which was not really talked about at all. Piper Powell, fifth place. Yeah, I was going to say 15th. Fifth place coming into the round. So they may have a top 12 spot, given the new structure. Maybe locked up regardless of result this round. So we'll see. Remember, it's important to play out this last round too, because you want to be one of those top 4 seeds, because our top 4 actually get a bye in the first round of our elimination rounds. They dodge the wild card round altogether. If you're an NFL fan out there, it's basically like the wild card round. You're just dodging it.
And anything can happen. Anytime you can get yourself out of the path of an elimination round match is extremely valuable.
I'm right there with you. Kitty cat. Get that back from the Witch's Oven. Wily Goblin there for Will Pulliam to kick things off. Does have a third land there in Shatterskull Smashing. The power of modal double face cards showing up once again as these couple of knuckleheads come into the red zone. The follow-up here is going to be a Witch's Oven, and looks like another copy of Cauldron Familiar, and actually let's make it a third copy of Cauldron Familiar. So none of the real payoffs yet. No Mayhem Devil, no Woe Strider just yet here for Tristan Wylde-LaRue.
This is not the worst setup, though, for Tristan. The threat here, when you're kind of fumbling around like this against Goblin, is just Muxus. It's not like they can attack you on the ground. It's just getting overwhelmed with resources. And as long as Will is missing land drops, Muxus isn't part of the equation. So the rest of the stuff you can beat pretty easily. It's not like Pulliam can damage race you effectively.
Totally agree. So here's Snoop Gobby Gob. Prepared to come on down, reveal the top card of the deck. It's a Goblin Chieftain. Shatterskull Smashing will be a land, and it's the battlefield tap, not looking to take any damage. And, we don't see the Rakdos Sacrifice strategies often win this way, but this could just be good enough of, hey, I got some ovens, I got some cats, and I'm going to ship you out while you kind of flounder around a little too much. And if that's the case, you're stealing stealing what could be a bad news game 1. Yep.
I mean, this is putting a ton of pressure on Will to get something going soon. And the beatdowns are not going to be very good from this spot. Not only is Tristan mucking up the battlefield, but also life totals are pulling up well above 20. So it's pretty much just Muxus that gets you out of a spot like this, and we're a ways away from that.
Yes, we are. So, you see the battlefield here, 3 cats, 2 ovens. Claim the Firstborn was drawn. There are worse draw steps, that's for sure. Let's see what wants to be the target, because I have to imagine you're going to use it right now. Could just take the Snoop, give some beatdown, sacrifice it to the oven.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, it's a lot of damage, and you might even get a chump block for your trouble. Not that the 1/1 is the most valuable thing, but again, when you're worried about Muxus, every creature is potentially relevant because a Skirk Prospector now, maybe that's enough mana to actually do everything.
Well, we are deep in the take here on this turn. And you now see the timer with Arena starting to work itself into the equation. Okay, no claim, just beatdowns. Fair enough. Stitch Your Supplier is going to be blocked by Conspicuous Snoop. Wily Goblin, you want to get in on the fun? Maybe not. Okay, so we're going to block a cat. We're going to block 2 cats. Okay. Means Goblin would trade, Snoop would win its battle. And now you're going to get Witch's Oven sacrificing the cat that was blocked by the Snoop. There's the trade. Wily Goblin will bite the dust for the Cauldron Familiar, and then a Cauldron Familiar and a Stitcher Supplier will get through. Goblin Chieftain the draw. Going to play the Chieftain off the top of the deck. Mountain will be the draw next turn. Not convinced anything's going to get done with any attacking, so just going to pass the turn back. And now we'll see. Stitcher Supplier gets sacrificed, it looks like, to the Oven. And we're going to get some cats back while also putting some cards in the graveyard. And also to close out Tristan's last turn, you saw the big fella, Jagatha, added to the grip. There's Claim the Firstborn. Give me these creatures. I'm going to finish you off, and that is going to do it. So, Rakdos Sacrifice up a game here over Mono Red Goblins as Tristan Wylde-LaRue is going to win game number 1 there over Will Pulliam. Uh-oh.
Holiday sale. Listen up. 25% off all supplies, sleeves, deck boxes, play mats, you name it over at rcgames.com. That sale ends tomorrow, 11 o'clock Eastern time, but there'll be a new sale. Make sure you come back. Unlike previous sales, we had a category and some things were on sale and some things were not. Everything, all supplies on sale. Make sure to use promo code SCG Supply 25 at checkout. Again, that sale is lasting for maybe another 16 hours or so. So if you want to get some discounts on a variety of supplies over at rcgames.com right now.
These players are going to go to the drawing board when it comes to sideboarding. Looks like a Braid going to be headed in. You see some more Active Treason, Claim the Firstborn style effects. And hey, even the big boat hiding out in the sideboard. Sky Sovereign, that's in Kaladesh Remastered. Okay.
Big Heater. Creature matchups.
I always like that. I like that card.
Yeah. It's powerful, but there's a lot of game leading up to it, and there's usually a lot of game after it, too.
It can be interacted with. It's an artifact after all. It's not that hard to kill a vehicle, but it can dominate a battlefield as well. It's big, but you got to work for it to crew. It's actually one of my favorite cards from that set.
Sometimes they got like 4 toughness and it doesn't really do anything. You can fight over the card itself. You can fight over their ability to crew it. There's a lot of game there.
Yeah, I've always liked that card, so it's cool. Well, it looks like Will's ready to rock and roll. Weird Land Guy on Arena is Will Pulliam. Same name, I think, on Magic Online as well. Played against Will a time or two. He does love his crazy lands and was mostly known for playing Amulet Titan in Modern, though he has won his fair share of matches outside of the Modern format. But the nice thing is we also get the opportunity now to meet some relative unknowns and allow them to make a name for themselves from all over the world, not just in North America like we normally would on the SCG Tour, because we are the SCG Tour Online now. So making the best out of a pretty difficult situation here in the world right now by bringing you some fantastic online play here on Magic Arena. These players are going to take a look at their opening hand. Pulliam's got an Abrade, Wily Goblin, the Trash Master, and a Chandra. So that seems like an easy keep. Could be turn 3 Chandra or Trash Master. Will's ready to play that land already. On the other side of things, we're seeing a Fabled Passage to kick it off. A couple copies of Priest of Forgotten Gods. Woe Strider, Stitcher Supplier, Cauldron Familiar, and the incredibly powerful Witches of Own. There's Priest of Forgotten Gods, looking to get that online right away. The follow-up here is a turn 3 Chandra looking to shut it down into a turn 4 Muxus. So Chandra might be a big add for this Goblin strategy when you have starts that look like this.
Yeah, it's pretty good at just a thing to do ahead of schedule. It's very powerful there. It's another way to ramp into Muxus. It's a different card type. You're a little bit less vulnerable to sweepers and such. Kind of as a mix of everything.
Now, you're seeing the Chandra plus for red mana and a Braid instead of just minusing, and the fear there is, okay, if I minus down to 1 and kill your Priest of Forgotten Gods, and then you claim the Firstborn, my Wily Goblin, and kill my Chandra and sacrifice it, I'm actually kind of set back quite a bit. yes, I still have the Abrade, but I'd rather have my Chandra hang around for a while because it's difficult for Rakdos Sacrifice to actually get that Planeswalker off the battlefield, and now you are more or less guaranteed to turn 4 Muxes.
Yeah, and this is a spot where open deck list is really valuable because the risk in the dark, if you're blind going into that play, the risk with the line that Pulliam took is something like Murderous Rider or the Devil just killing your Planeswalker and you having very little to show for it. So knowing that you're in the clear to go ahead and plus there's no risk of just a targeted anti-Planeswalker card on the way back is really valuable.
And there is Muxus, couple copies of Goblin Chieftain alongside the Goblin Grandee. Everybody's coming into the red zone now, so it's going to be a healthy amount. Muxus is almost certainly going to have to be the one that is blocked. And Fabled Passage will get sacrificed here before blockers are declared. A Stitcher Supplier, this looks like it's going to do some blocking, get a land out of your deck first, if I have the read of this situation correct. So there is the block. Sacrifice it to Witch's Oven, sure. And a couple of cards headed to the graveyard. Damage going to come through. It's 8-20 in favor of Pulliam, and just that quickly. We are seeing a very one-sided affair here, much like we saw in the first game, but for our other player playing Rakdos Sacrifice. Cauldron Familiar, and now Woestrider looking to gum up the works a little bit, but we can already see the Krinko in hand, and that card I think might be more than enough to get this game over with. Pulliam going to play a land first, Krinko second. That thing's got haste in a multitude of ways. And that is going to take care of this game very simply. So Will Pulliam's going to tie things up here against Tristan Wylde-LaRue. Mono Red Goblins, Rakdos Sacrifice with Jengatha getting ready here for game number 3. Now, versus live, you can watch every Tuesday and every Thursday. You can watch game 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They play a lot of games over there, do Corey Baumeister and Ross Merriam. Every Tuesday and Thursday, as I mentioned, at 1 p.m. East Coast time. StarCityGames.com is where you can find it. You can also check it out on our Twitch page because we do stream them playing Magic live over at twitch.tv/StarCityGames, which is where you are right now. So thanks for hanging out with us. Corey Ross, they play all of the formats. They celebrate all of Magic with a lean towards competitive playing, getting you ready for your next tournament, be it something as large as the Kaldheim Championship or something as small as your next MTG Arena match. StarCityGames.com, again, is where you can find those two smiling faces. All right, game 3.
Let's go.
Oh, we're going.
Let's get it.
We're going all right. Rakdos Sacrifice, Mono Red Goblins. Sacrifice will be on the play. Looks like moving out a couple copies of Cauldron Familiar. Some number of Scroungers have gone away as well. Threat effects not at their absolute best against the Goblins deck, so I can see moving away from those a bit. And it looks like Wylde-LaRue is going to do that. So, again, both these players 7-1. Winner of this one, going to lock up a bye to kick off the elimination rounds, which is certainly nice. There's a swamp. And this is a Cauldron Familiar.
Yeah, debating between Cauldron Familiar and Thoughtseize there. I prefer generally to try to leave the Thoughtseize if you're primarily concerned about Muxus, either the turn before Muxus can be cast or after Goblin Matron.
Sure.
In the meantime, just beat down.
Give the opponent the opportunity to draw into it.
Yeah. I mean, they really don't have any powerful plays to make from this spot. I guess turn 3, you start looking at maybe a Lord can be part of the equation, but I think you're just better served, especially with this sort of hand, which is just kind of a pile of creatures. It's just about racing here, to just apply pressure and then get to that Thoughtseize down the line.
Well, you see the Muxus is in the hand already. And it looks like Witch's Vengeance, Midnight Reaper, and Thoughtseize also in the hand. Here's a Stitcher Supplier going to mill a couple of cards. Woestrider headed to the graveyard. I'm going to take a look at it. And now here is that Thoughtseize. So Muxus, Chieftain, War Chief, Snoop, and a Mountain. Those are the options. And Mux is unsurprisingly going to bite the dust. The whole goal of this game is to set up a backbreaking Witch's Vengeance, which I don't think is going to be that tough.
Yeah, I mean, Pulliam can really not do very much other than just play the cards in his hand. And that's going to play right into the jaw of it.
Here's Chieftain. Now, again, we're looking at an open deck list event here, of course. So the Witch's Vengeance, not really going to take anybody by surprise. Though trying to defend is not going to go particularly well here. So
No.
So, Creature types Goblin, get them all dead. Now try to get you dead. Here's an attack for 3, 4, and 5 points of damage. Blood Crypt's going to the battlefield tapped, and now it's on Snoop to actually try to catch this game back up a little bit here. A little surprised, I guess, to see Snoop come before War Chief. Actually, no, I take that back. Couldn't play both in the same turn, so ignore me, please. That's actually the right line.
I'm really impressed by Witch's Vengeance here in conjunction with a deck that's actually able to shorten the length of the game.
Okay.
It's not like it's been bad when we've seen the Sultai decks, but you still are playing a game that eventually lets them resolve Muxus, and sometimes that's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Here, shortening the length of the game, a Thoughtseize for a Muxus. There's really nothing for Pulliam to do in the intervening turns, in that turn 3 to 4 range, then just cast some creatures in his hand, and then it's, all right, everything you have is dead, and now you're under pressure. That's just a much more powerful sequence.
Well, you see the plan here for Pulliam, which is, hey, I have a Muxus on top of my deck that I'm trying to resolve, because that's the kind of card that can get me back into this game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Conspicuous Snoop do some blocking here this turn. Could fall down to 7, because Snoop, of course, you get to play the cards off the top of your deck, so that's the kind of card that can catch you right back up. But you're going to see now, sacrificing a Fabled Passage, and perhaps enough cards in the graveyard to get back that Woe Strider. And there it is. So 5-4 coming along with an 0-1 Goat. Not a bad turn there. Pretty big draw step here for Pulliam, though. It's a Chandra.
Yeah, you really just need to find some stuff to flood the battlefield there with some blockers. Just a little bit of a push it.
Man, that's kind of a problem. So let's see, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here we go. That Snoop is going to be back on D. You don't want your War Chief to die because you know you're drawing Chandra. And so now here's a sacrifice of that Go token. That card's going to stay on top. That's got to be a good one if it's staying up there, and it is. It's the best one in Mayhem Devil.
I think that's going to be too much. There's just no surviving combat through this card.
Midnight Reaper and Mayhem Devil at the ready. Now, are we going to see a non-Mayhem Devil card get cast? We are not, which that's good news. And now here come the beatdowns. All of them are going to come in. You're just going to block right there on the Woe Strider. Looks like you also want to block the Cauldron Familiar. Maybe not. How about the Supplier? 4 damage is going to come through. Okay, we'll block there. Just trying to make it through this turn. That's all we're trying to do. So 4 damage. You sacrifice. That's 5. That's 6. And you sacrifice the Devil. I'm seeing lethal here, partner.
There's no way to block out of this. I mean,
Yep.
You just take the hits, and then Woe Strider plus Mayhem Devil finishes off no matter how you block.
Sure does. Down to 2, sacrifice a Scrap Heap Scrounger, sacrifice another creature. Citrus Supplier in this instance. Mill 3 cards, sure, but that combination of Woe Strider and Mayhem Devil continues to power Tristan Wylde-LaRue through this tournament. Rakdos Sacrifice is going to knock down Mono Red Goblins. Pulliam should still make our top 12, but for Tristan, he's going to make our top 4, and that means a bye going into our elimination rounds here. So congratulations there. And congratulations to Rakdos Sacrifice, as a deck that has continued to impress here, Patrick, as far as an